G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome to episode 2 of my 5 favourites. This is a series I created where I show you 5 slot cars out of my collection, and if there's a story behind that slot car, I will tell that story. But let's face it, this is a very simple way for me to show off my collection. But before we get into that, please follow me on Instagram and YouTube at That Slot Car Guy on both of those platforms. But let's get stuck into it. 5 different companies, 5 different cars. So what is car number 1 for episode 2? Let's find out together. So let's kick it off with car number 1, and I've gone with SRC, which is the company that I truly do love and support. And the reason I do love and support them, they're doing very good things in Spain with the slot car world, and they make incredible cars. But this car right in front of you is the Ford Capri, but what makes it extra special, this car was made for me by SRC as a thank you car. And I'll tell you what, this has to be my favorite car in my collection, and it is very, very special to me. Before starting the channel, I did not think I would have my name on a slot car, maybe a custom by a fan, but not by a company. So I'm very grateful for SRC for doing that. And if you don't know, I have been working with SRC, part of their team, for many years now. So I do thank them. So here it is, the That Slot Car Guy Ford Capri, car number 1. Let's check out car number 2. So let's jump into car number 2, and I have gone with Carrera, but not just any Carrera car. I've chosen the Nissan Skyline R32 GTR from the initial D series, which I absolutely love. And there's 2 reasons why I love this slot car by Carrera. The first reason is the car, the model that you see inside. I was lucky enough to have one when I was a young fella. I had an R32 Skyline as a young fella. The second reason, which is probably more importantly, this initial D series, this range of JDM cars, or Japanese cars, I'm blown away. I did not see it coming from Carrera. I think a lot of collectors and slot car racers are liking the JDM scene. We do have a lot of Euro, we have a lot of muscle cars, rally cars, F1 cars, but it's great to see a dedicated Japanese series being initial D. Now, if you haven't seen the cartoon, check it out. It's been around for many years now, well, 25th anniversary, so check it out. But a really good move by Carrera, and I'm super proud that they did it, because this may bring more cars from the future series and some of the other series of Initial D, and trust me, there's a lot of nice cars in that series. So well done, Carrera, with the Initial D series. I'm a JDM fan, but what do we have for car number 3? So car number 3, I've chosen a company that some people may not know made slot cars, and that is AutoArt. And the first thing you think of when I say AutoArt will be their model cars, their die-cast cars, which I do have some in my die-cast collection. But they did make slot cars many years ago. Now, why have I chosen AutoArt? Well, there's probably 2 reasons for that as well. I do love the execution on these cars. I've chosen the Porsche 911, absolutely love this car. I'm a massive Porsche fan. No, I can't afford one. That's probably a pipe dream for me. But they've executed the body, the look perfectly. I love the look of the AutoArt cars. Now, the second thing is, some people don't like how they drive. Now, I don't mind how the AutoArt car drives, because I was purchasing this car knowing it's not going to be a race car, it's a car to add to my collection as a collector. But I have done a review on the AutoArt series before, so I will try and link that in the descriptions. But did you know that AutoArt made slot cars? If you did, hit the comments. If you didn't, please hit the comments and let me know. But the only way you can get these now is probably eBay or Facebook Marketplace. So if you do see them, snap them up, because they do go for some good money. And I believe they're quite collectible. And yes, I am trying to complete the series of the AutoArt cars. And just a quick tidbit, they did make 124 scale and 132 scale. So when you are looking, make sure you search for both sizes. So what is car number 4? Well, let's find out together. So car number 4, I have chosen Ninco, but not just any Ninco car, the Lotus Exige GT3, which is one of the most beautiful slot cars I reckon Ninco have produced. I absolutely love the Lotus range in the Ninco series, and take a look at it. But another reason I chose Ninco is I want to celebrate the company and show them what kind of cars they could produce, because I do miss them as a slot car brand in our hobby, and I hope they do get back into it and start making slot cars and track and everything else in between. But the Lotus Exige GT3, well, Lotus Exige itself is very, very special to me. I was almost lucky enough just prior to COVID to purchase a Lotus Exige here in Melbourne, Australia, but I didn't pull the trigger, and I wish I did, because since COVID, these prices have skyrocketed, and now this car, or the Lotus Exige, is out of my price range. So it's a little bit of a sore point, but it's also, I'm celebrating a very good company, being Ninco. Now, do you have any Ninco cars in your collection? And also hit the comments, would you like to see Ninco come back into the slot car game? So what car have I chosen for car number 5, the final car for episode 2? Stick around, let's have a look together. So last but not least, car number 5, and I purposely left this car for car number 5 for a couple of reasons. First off, it's scale electric, it's retro, it's a Ferrari 312 T3. But why have I chose Ferrari? Well, I'm a huge F1 fan, and Ferrari did come 1-2 on the weekend for the first race of the season 2022. So what better way to celebrate than with a very old Ferrari slot car / race car in general. So I do miss the styling of an old slot car. Yes, they're not very good on track, but I love the lunchbox style opening. I love how we know I think they're stickers, not prints or decal. They're literally stick-on stickers. And the technology in the slot car world wasn't that crazy back then, but they still look really good. And I'm a huge collector of the retro and some vintage slot car stuff, especially scale electric. So I have gone Ferrari to celebrate the win on the weekend. Well done to the boys. Unfortunately, I'm a McLaren fan and they didn't do too well. But I hope you enjoyed this little retro piece. So there you go, car number 5. What's your thoughts? Do you have any retro scale electric in your collection? Hit the comments. So that is car number 5 for episode 2. So there we have it. Episode 2 is done and dusted. 5 different slot car companies and 5 very, very different slot cars. And if there is a story attached to a slot car, I do try and tell that story, but I will always give you my reasons why I purchased that car, because as collectors, racers and hobbyists, we do buy with emotion and with purpose, whether you're trying to complete a collection or it's a car that you've always wanted to own. But please hit the comments, which one out of these 5 was your favorite, or put them in order for me. And please let me know what your new 5 favorites are, because I do read all the comments that are posted on my channel. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram and YouTube. If you're not subscribed, please do. It does help the channel. Hit the like and the notification button. If you do want to share the video, that also helps out the channel. Take care, be safe, support your local. Ciao.
Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.